Basically, anyone who's ever been depressed, have anxiety, or the doctor has prescribed a selected serotonin reuptake inhibitor, like Prozac or Luvox or anything like that, they have a thin nervous system. The lymph nodes show in the eye. Not all lymph nodes do, but the really, healthy ones don't show in the eye, but unhealthy lymph nodes can show in the eye. If you notice, this one has 2 dots, a couple little ones. This is in the breast area, so we know that this person is trying to fight something off in their breast. This one's kind of like all over the place. And this person is actually someone that I know. And they had lymphatic cancer, and they developed the brown spots from chemotherapy. There's something else that develops in the eye, and they're called lesions. If you notice, right here is sunk in deeper than the rest of the fibers. And here you see a lesion that's very deep. We have a chart that lets you know where the energetic origin is. So let's say this is an iris of the eye, and in this part of your iris there is one of those lesions. We know then that there's a weakness in your liver. When I commented about the lymph nodes, they were right here and right here. That is in the breast area. So we know that the person had lymph nodes that were clogged in their breast. So you can tell all different parts of the body. It can't tell you the name of the disease. Like, let's say there's a mark like that in the lung. We don't know if it's asthma or emphysema. We just know that the lung is weak. So it has its limitations. But I believe it's one of the best diagnostic tools known to man.
How many sets of eyes do you think you've looked at in 20 years?
Well, I can tell you that in the first 3 years, I did over 4,000 people. And it's kind of like snowballed since then, I read more per day now, so I have no idea. Probably tens of thousands.
Well, I just wanted to say that because, I'm just always fascinated with, the exact precise point on the eye for every organ, and, with you it's no guesswork. It's just right on the...
Well, you do a couple and it comes a little easier. In the beginning it's tough.
Yeah.
But no matter what you do, the little more you do it, you can do it a little faster, a little bit easier. You get little helps and tricks of the trade, as it were. Okay, now, other colorations. We're back from lesions now onto colorations. This is what we call a brown sore, these brown flecks. And I told you about the lady. This is the other eye of the lady that had chemo. The brown came from the damage that the chemo did on the liver. So brown indicates toxins and weakness in the liver. Since there's a weakness of the liver, any kind of female problems, heavy periods, missed periods, endometriosis, fibroids, tenderness of the breast, cancer of the breast, any of that stuff can indicate liver. Bloating or passing gas more than once a week can indicate liver. Blood sugar imbalances. This is the acid test on whether or not I really get aggressive with the liver. You're supposed to go to sleep at night and sleep the whole night through. If you ever wake up during the night, that means your liver's not working well. Either it's weak or it's toxic, and the eye can tell you which it is.
So running to the bathroom at night is not normal?
Nope. You shouldn't wake up and go urinate during the night. You shouldn't wake up for any reason at all, not even to look at the clock and roll over. If it does that, it means or it indicates that the liver is releasing some sugar during the night. If it releases a little bit, you might wake up, look at the clock, turn over and go back to sleep. If it releases enough, then your kidneys will produce urine, which it should not do during the night, and you'll have to wake up and urinate. If it does it a whole lot, when you come back to bed, you can't go to sleep.
Okay.
So, in conclusion, iridology, you cannot diagnose a disease. But you can tell if something's toxic, something's weak. And you can see certain deficiencies, which is very helpful. And iridology is scientific. There's so many people that think it's just a bunch of herbalists sat around and came up with this stuff without realizing it was taught in all the leading medical schools, even Harvard University at one time. Things we didn't get into is the fact that it can indicate genetic strengths and weaknesses. So let's say I was born, I wish I was, a tendency having diabetes. All the women in my family end up with diabetes at a very young age, and I was heading towards that direction. But through iridology, I knew what things to nourish and to balance out. And although I'm an old lady, I don't have diabetes anymore. It can also help you prioritize. You know, some people come to me, they're a train wreck. They have 30 things that they could work on. But the iridology can tell you which are the ones that are putting the most stress on the body. And oftentimes, if you work on the worst part, the other little things will just go away. But if you work on a little thing, as soon as you stop the herbs, it comes back. So iridology is great in helping you prioritize what you need to do to get to the core of the problem.
I like the part about the genetics too, Mary, because of course I would have liked to have known that before I had my children, that you can change the future of your children if you change the weaknesses in your body before you have children.
Absolutely. Absolutely can. You cannot change your own DNA, but you can change what DNA you donate to your children.
Right.
Well, Cheryl, I was in the same boat. But you know what? We can help our children do that for our grandchildren.
Oh, yes. Exactly.
Now, I do both teach classes on iridology, and if anybody's interested in that, they can always email me at marysherbs@aol.com. And I do consultations for those people that don't have the time to learn to themselves or the inclination, and they want to know what they can do for their health. And of course, I make myself available by phone. I'm not always home, and I get so many phone calls that I don't answer return phone calls anymore. But if somebody would want or is interested, they can keep trying me. And if I'm home, I do pick up. But I travel and teach a lot, so I'm not always there. So, do you have any questions, Cheryl?
No. Well, I was thinking about the eyes. So for most people, I mean, I'm sure there are people who will look at this and say, well, you know, can I just look at some of these eyes and tell what I've got? And I'm just thinking about the knowledge that you have, that it takes more than just looking at one eye and saying you can, you know, look at your own eye to see what's going on in your body. Of course, there's things that will pop out at you as you learn more about it.
Right. And the reason why I for this video is to let people know that there is something called iridology so they can keep a look on their eye. And although, as you said, from this video, of course, you cannot do your own eye and be able to rely on that because it's quite involved. But I'm hoping to entice people to look at their eyes, and if they see a change, realize that means there's a change in their health.
Right.
And maybe they can address it even before they get full-blown symptoms or a full-blown disease.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your help, Cheryl, and everybody out there watching this video, I hope you found it interesting, and if I can help you in any way, just let me know. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.